pump, for those of you that haven't heard about the Willow pump, it is a hands-free, cordless, wireless, or whatever pump that is, it comes in two colors. It comes in white or it comes in gray. And the pump is just came out late last year. I don't remember quite when, but towards maybe like October-ish. And in the beginning, they only had like beta testers. So a lot of women that had to take like tests and ask basically like a survey to make sure that you qualified. I'm not sure what their requirements were, but they only released like a certain number of pumps. And then they would have coaches that would help the moms and kind of gauge like interest and see how they liked it. The pump is sold on willowpump.com and it costs, let's see, $479.99. So you get two of these pumps, just like this one. This is just the pump, no flange or anything. So you get two of these pumps and it comes in a big white box. I don't have it anymore because I bought mine like in October. So it's been a while. So it comes two of these pumps. It comes with two flanges that look like this. They're size 24 and 27, and there's no sizes besides that. I think they're working on that, so more to come there. And then it comes with 24 of these bags. These are the bags that you use with the Willow, so it's not like a normal breast pump where you use a bottle or something, like pump straight into the bottle. I know that some people pump straight into like a breast milk bag. And it comes with a charger that looks like this. And it only comes with one charger and you can only charge one pump at a time. So keep that in mind. It comes with two flex tubes and I'll explain more what these are later. This is the only size that they come in. You don't need another size and you need two of them, one for each pump. And that's it. So that's the actual like pump parts and what you need for the pump. And it comes with these two like soft velvety gray bags that you put the pump in. So here's a little demo. I didn't like using the bags because I don't know, I thought it was like too cumbersome to have like two bags for every pump. I don't know, that's just my preference. You can use them if you want. And then they feel kind of like a material that you wouldn't want to get dirty. Like it's not a wet dry bag, it's just like velvet. So I don't know, I thought that they could get gross. So I didn't use them, which is a shame, but whatever. So, the pump itself has a power button that looks like a standard power button, and these are all the controls right here on the blue side. So when you're pumping, you can like look in your shirt and you can adjust whatever you need to if you need to. So there's a power button, you have an up and down button that adjusts the suction in the middle. And then you have the play and the pause button at the very top. And that's like any other pump. If you've used a pump before, it's to like play and pause your session. So if you're done, you can just pause it, or if you need to do something or take it off or whatever, that's what that's for. This is what the inside of the pump looks like. Not very exciting, but there you go. Mine is kind of dirty because I used it a lot. So that's a good sign for you guys. So here's the flange, and it's got like a little door that goes like that, and it's got a blue Willow logo on the front, and this is what the back of the flange looks like. So there's this part that sticks out that goes into the pump, and it has like this little nozzle right here. That nozzle we use to connect to the flex tube. So there's a very small, like, I don't even know what this called is, like a little neck that you insert into that nozzle. And you have to make sure that it's secure and that it's like made a good seal, otherwise your pump will yell at you and it'll be like, no, it's not assembled correctly. So if you download the app, which I'll talk about in a second, it will give you like warning signs of why your pump is not working. So this is a flex tube, not attached yet. And then it has like underneath the door, it has like these slots that they like, the flex tube like slides into. So you just like push it in like that. You got to make sure that it clicks, otherwise you're going to get that your pump's going to yell at you, like I said. And you get these bags. I think I told you guys you get 24 bags with your order. They're kind of pricey, and I'll let you guys know in a second how much they are. So the bag is like this little ring on it, and behind it you can't really see, but it's like a valve, and the valve is backflow preventer valve. So if you, like, let's say this bag was full of milk and I went like this, it prevents it from like flowing out of the bag. So it's perfect. Like once you pump, you can put it straight into the freezer, into the fridge. I didn't like doing that because it was hard for my my son's caretaker to like empty it or to do anything with it. So I would just dump it into like the regular bags. And the bag itself has like this white tab at the top that says like this is where you cut it. I didn't like cutting it right there. I actually like cutting it on the side. I felt like it was easier to pour, and it's like a bag, so it's kind of flimsy and it's hard to pour. So I think right there is like the optimal place to cut. So after you have like your flange assembled, your flex tube is in there nice and like tight. Make sure it's nice and tight because your pump's gonna yell. You take like where the valve is, that little nose. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I usually push the tab back and then I would push the nose into the hole that's in the flex tube. Okay, and I would make sure that it's like straight on there, and you're not gonna get any like, if you close the door, there's no like plastic hanging out the side. Because one time, actually several times, I like would do that, and it actually made a leak because the door like cut the bag open. So you just push the bag in there as well as you can, and then you close the little door, and then you need to make sure that you push the bag into the flange as much as possible, just like that. And you need to make sure these gray little balls are exposed because that is actually what creates the suction and what pumps. So the pump actually goes like this. So that will make the suction. You need to make sure that this contact, this gray contact, is exposed. I don't know why, it just doesn't work if you don't. Or maybe that's just my luck. And you need to make sure you push that bag way deep in there. There's got these two little tabs, I push them all the way in there. You know, and it's just like your preference, but what I thought when I was in a really big hurry and I knew that I wasn't gonna pump a lot, like the whole bag, I would just fold it like down the middle right there and like fold it again over, and then that's how I would do it. So you take your pump and then you insert your flange just like this, and it's got 3 snaps on it that you have to make sure that go into the pump, otherwise you're gonna get that pesky message. It's got these 2 buttons on the side that you have to make sure snap in place, and then it's got a top one that doesn't have a button, or a bottom one that doesn't have a button, it's just a snap in place. And this is what the pump looks like fully assembled. So this is what I look like without the pump on. A normal person. And I don't have a nursing bra right now, so it's gonna look kind of wonky, but you just put it in. So there you go, you didn't see anything inappropriate. And that's the difference between like a regular person and a regular person with a pump. It's quite a big difference. So I bought it so that I could pump in my cube at work, and sometimes I would, sometimes I wouldn't. If I was going to pump out my cube, it's quiet enough that like the person next door isn't gonna notice. And if somebody's like standing next to you and you're having a conversation with, if you're having a conversation with them, they're not really gonna notice. So if you want a quiet pump, this is definitely quiet enough. Sometimes if you get to like high suction, it starts getting a little noisy, but still quieter than like a Spectra, for example, or definitely a Modelo. So that's what I used to have. I used to have the Spectra S1, and the S1 is the one that doesn't connect, like you don't have to have it plugged into a wall for it to work. And I loved my Spectra, but I just got so much anxiety thinking about going back to work and having to like pump for 20 minutes plus, and having to go into like a special room and making it like a big deal. I don't know, like having to take off my clothes and like putting on a special bra to like pump. That's the great thing about the Willow, is that like you don't need a special bra, you just need a nursing tank, and there's like some nice ones that are compatible with it. You have to be careful about which kind you buy. They have to be stretchy. And I'll go ahead and link the ones that I use down below. I bought them on Amazon and they're way cheaper than the ones that they suggest to use. I bought both tanks and just the bras. So those worked out really well for me and they're pretty affordable. So if you want to try those out, you can. So the Spectra, yeah, like gave me a lot of anxiety, like I said. And that's why I started looking for like a wireless pump or like a hands-free pump. I wanted to be able to maybe, if I could, pump in my cube or pump like at a meeting or something like that. That's what I was envisioning. So I started looking online, and then I ran across the Freeme. And the Freeme is hands-free, technically, but it is not cord-free. So you still have to put in a tube into a pump. You can use a Freeme pump that they have several of, and then you can also use the Spectra or the Medela. The Spectra takes some findangling for the Freeme pump or the Freeme flange to work with. And I think it's like directly compatible with the Medela, if I'm not mistaken. So this is what it looks like. You can put it into your bra just like I did with the Willow. The problem with this one was like the cord, like I said, or the tube, and then it also like spilled quite a bit. I didn't like that, and then I didn't get as much output with my Freeme cups as I did with my Willow. So, or as I did with my Spectra when I was comparing them. So there's that piece of information. But if you can't afford the Willow, or for whatever reason the Willow doesn't work out for you, I think the Freeme is a good option. So the Willow, I think to get like one pump out, if you're running low on battery, it takes 25 minutes to pump. What I would do is I would do a pumping session, and I would charge one pump immediately, like no matter if I had almost full charge, and then I would trade off every time that I would pump. It's up to you. I would pump maybe 3 times a day for less than 15 minutes every time, and my charge would last me 2 days if you didn't charge them at all. Just so you have that in mind. So yeah, if you want to put it under your shirt, like, and be in public, people that don't know you probably won't notice, but people that do know you, I think, would notice. So I would wear a jacket over it. I know some people wear scarves, stuff like that, and that's how they kind of cover for it. The pumping timing ends or times out at 25 minutes. I know a lot of pumps have the same function. Pros of the Willow, I love high suction. I don't think my output increased. I think my output was similar to the Spectra, but it did make it so that I didn't have to pump as long. So for my Spectra, I would pump more than 15 minutes. In the morning, I would get like 8 ounces total. And then for my Willow, I would sometimes pump like 10 minutes, and I would already have like my 8 ounces. So I really like that about it. I feel like it is more efficient at emptying you. When I used the Willow for a long time, and then I went back to my Spectra, I got a lot of clogged ducts. I don't actually remember why I did that or what happened there, but that's what happened. When I first got my Willow, these are the cons, right? Let me finish with the pros. So the pros are, it pumps straight into the bag. I think that's great. There's only 2 parts to clean, the flex tube and the flange. And let me tell you, I would just, for that day, I would just put it in the fridge into like a plastic bag with like a Ziploc. I used to use a wet dry bag, but that kind of got gross and I didn't like it. So I would use a Ziploc bag within a wet dry bag, because I put it into like a common refrigerator at work, and I didn't want people to get like, what is this? You know, people are like nosy. So I like that I would only have to wash these 2 parts a night. It took less than 5 minutes. It was great compared to like a normal pump. Whew. So, that's like the pros. And then the fact that you can like walk around and do whatever, like do somersaults if you want to with the pump on. The cons are what I think everybody is probably watching this video for. It is a giant learning curve. It took me maybe 2 to 3 weeks to learn how to use it appropriately. And if you don't use it right, it's gonna be hell. First, I heard a lot of people complain about pain. Yes, it's true, it's very painful. When you first start, I don't know, I know some people that don't have any pain because their latch is just perfect the first time. And I know there's some people that get like blisters and their nipple changes colors and it gets like big and swollen. That was me. And it's all because of latch. Or also, there's some people, it's because you're not being honest with yourself and you want to use the 24 or the 27 and it's too big or too small for you. So I would say be clear about what your size, your appropriate size for you is, right? There are hacks to like be able to use it if you have a smaller nipple. So we can go into that soon, but that was like, the learning curve is a huge con. Like, oh my God.